Turns out that I've had dysphoria over my chest since I was probably a teenager. So let's dive straight into that, shall we? Hey folks, and welcome to this instalment of the Tea Party where I talk about my chest dysphoria and why I'm getting top surgery. I know that there are a whole myriad of different reasons why an individual might get top surgery, so these are just my experiences, but I think there are some running common themes in what I've experienced and what other folks also experience. Here's some photos of what I used to look like as a teenager. I was a huge emo and I spent many hours in a hairdresser getting my hair dyed blonde, which I can tell you was no mean feat, honestly. And I used to get mistaken quite a lot for being a boy. I was a really like skinny kid, skinny teenager, but even still, as my breasts started to develop, I felt like they were becoming really prominent because I would always wear sort of clothes that fitted me quite tightly, and so therefore I felt like it just kind of accentuated this part of my body. And I used to just feel like people would double take or glance again at me to try and work me out, and that was always just such an uncomfortable feeling. So I remember really vividly so many periods of time where I would do this thing where I would cover my chest with my arm. I'll try not to hit my microphone here. And I pretend like I'd have an itch on the other arm. So I'd be like itching my arm, a fake itch, it didn't actually itch, but this kind of arm across my chest would sort of be the barrier that I would need to feel as if I was protecting myself from strangers, from other people, and from myself in terms of all the thoughts that I was thinking, that other people were thinking. I mean, I had no idea whether these people were questioning my gender or questioning how they wanted to try and identify me, but I just felt like they were. And the older I got and the more I would get mistaken for a boy, or really, to be honest, accurately gendered as a boy, I would just become more and more dysphoric, more and more self-conscious, would do this arm over the chest protection more and more. And then as I started to medically transition and came to realise about my transgender identity, I started doing this same arm movement again. And it wasn't until I started doing it again in my 30s that I started to realise and piece everything together, that what I was experiencing as a teenager was fucking gender dysphoria. Just like the fact that all those pieces in the puzzle started to come together was both a revelation in a good way and also a bad way. I just felt really sad for teenage Frit, for having to deal with that without any information, any knowledge, any resources, any language, and just try and just live their best life while still battling with all of these anxieties. Yeah, it just makes me really sad for my younger self. So it's now no surprise at the age of 34 that I still have dysphoria over my chest. That hasn't gone away, obviously, and that's why I want to get top surgery. For me, it's the only way that I know that I can eliminate this anxiety, this part of my life that takes up so much mental space in my head on a daily basis. And I feel like my chest has really been an inconvenience and has really held me back. And here are some examples of how I have felt like that's manifested. So the first is that I've really wanted to learn to surf for so many years. But anything to do with putting on a wetsuit or getting in water where clothing is going to stick to my body has always been an issue. And there's obviously no chance that I can go in to water topless at the moment. I tape at the moment, and it's just something that I feel like I am not quite confident or brave enough to just own. There are so many folks out there who tape their chest, who just go out super proud of wearing their tape, And I genuinely admire them so much. I just don't feel like I can do that. I've done it a couple of times, but it just made me feel really self-conscious. And I remember there was this time when me and my girlfriend were on this beach, and it could have been this really lovely time, but I felt like there was someone who was standing nearby us who just kept glancing at me, and I could not get that out of my head. I asked my girlfriend if we could move further along the beach to be away from them, but still, even so, it just really kind of marred my whole experience of being there. So I really want to be able to learn to surf, and I really want to be able to take part in more water sports. At the moment, I do a bunch of wild swimming, and my love for it actually is really growing. There was a big period of time where it really dipped. I felt like I fell out of love with it, and I would go to these meetups where my girlfriend and our friends would swim, and I just wouldn't swim. I'd sit on the side because I just felt really dysphoric about my body, and particularly about my chest. I've been really lucky that I found this black long sleeve top made by Speedo that has really helped me to combat so much of my chest dysphoria while swimming. I chose black because any kind of shadows I felt like would accentuate breasts. I chose a much larger size. I think I've got like an XL or something, because I wanted it to be baggy and to hang off me to again not accentuate my chest. And then it's got this zip down the front, which is super helpful, because I feel like it just creates a completely different shape around the front and draws the material towards the zip, as opposed to having this really smooth surface that again could accentuate my chest. That top has really helped me to get into the water. Without it, I don't think I would be swimming at all right now. But there are instances where, for example, here, me and my girlfriend went away to France, and this lake was just beautiful. We had really hot temperatures. It was like high 20 degrees, and I still was wearing this top because I didn't have another option. I didn't feel like I could go topless. And so as wonderful as it was to be in France and to be swimming in this water, I really wanted to just feel the water against my skin. I really wanted to feel the sun against my skin, and I just didn't feel like I was able to do that. And even swimming in colder temperatures, I would love to actually just get into the water topless and to just feel the water against my skin, to just feel what that's like, and not then have to have also the faff of getting changed, where I then have to get changed under a change robe, because again I don't feel like I can expose my top half. And so I just feel like the world of water sports can just open up massively for me once I've had top surgery, once I've recovered. Yeah, I'm like super excited for that. Some other ways that my chest has sort of felt like it's been an inconvenience or held me back is in hiking, for example. Again, talking about sort of hot temperatures, I often just stay hiking in a jumper or a second layer, so I might wear a shirt over the top. And again, it's just to kind of combat that dysphoria around my chest of wearing like a thin sports t-shirt. A lot of activewear materials are quite thin to be breathable, but for me that's been a problem. So you'll see this video here where I'm looking at myself and seeing whether the chest strap on my backpack combined with the thin material of the t-shirt is actually accentuating my chest, which I felt like it massively was. So I adjusted the position of the strap to try and essentially hold my chest down, but still I didn't feel like it was fully eliminating the problem. And I just remember being on this hike for a lot of the time just thinking about my chest, and whenever anyone would pass me, again I would do this thing where I pretend like I'd have this phantom itch across my arm just to try and protect and cover my chest. I would love to go to spas with my girlfriend. I would love to sit in hot tubs with friends. I'm really lucky that over the past couple of years I have either booked myself or my girlfriend's booked a place with a hot tub when we've been going away for some weekends together. But they've always had to be private hot tubs really, because again, I just don't feel like I can be in this environment where I can share this experience with friends, and I would love to. Like I would genuinely love to do that. I think that would be so nice. Because for all of the outdoorsy adventurous stuff that I do, actually there's a really lovely balance of just being able to go away and do something where you're doing very little. Still being outside, but just being able to chill with people that you love and trust and you feel happy around, I just think that would be such a lovely thing to do. And my girlfriend loves going to spas at the moment, and I would love to join her, but currently I just don't feel like the setup for trans folks is there for us to be able to enjoy things that ultimately are there to help us relax. And they don't. They make us feel more anxious or more alienated. So yeah, one day soon I'm going to be going to a spa with my girlfriend, and I'm going to be enjoying a hot tub with friends, and I'm going to share all of it with you because I just think it's going to be such a euphoric moment for me. Recently I was really lucky to be able to go skiing for the first time in a few years. I've only really just started to learn to ski, so this is kind of like the second time that I've been of sorts, in terms of like there was a chunk of time when I went out when I first started to learn, and now this is the second time that I've been able to go out and ski a bit more. But something that was really getting to me was that in the accommodation I was staying in, I didn't feel like I could just walk around in a base layer. I felt like I had to wear a t-shirt on top, because the base layer obviously is designed to sit quite close to the skin. And I wanted to be able to do that because sometimes I got too hot. Sometimes I was just melting in the accommodation. Sometimes I was even melting whilst we were skiing because I had a couple of days where the sun came out, which was just super lovely. And I just wanted to be in the base layer. I wanted to be like everyone else there who was just walking around in base layers, not feeling that self-conscious about their chests. If anything, actually, if I'm being totally honest, I wanted to be this guy. This is a really lovely guy who I met who was in the same group as me, and he just dressed amazingly for the slopes. I loved it. The woolen jumper, the braces, I just loved the whole look, and I'd love to look like this next time I go skiing. But braces, I've worn them once before. I really like them, but they kind of sit at this really awkward place that kind of goes just over your chest, just over your nipples. And I kind of felt like they would just kind of bump over the chest. And I currently just don't feel like I can own that look in a way that makes me feel really confident, even though I love the way it looks. So after top surgery, when I'm fully recovered, expect to see a bunch of content, photos, videos, everything, where I can finally embrace wearing braces, because yeah, I just think they're such a fucking cool look. And finally, as I mentioned in my previous video in the announcement of me getting top surgery, I'd quite like to have the choice to not always have to wear baggy oversized t-shirts. Like I'm wearing one today. Look how long these sleeves are. I mean, it does look fucking cool. Just give me one sec, let me stand up. So like, this is a cool look. I do like this look, but I would like the ability to choose when I wear an oversized t-shirt, and when some days I want to wear a small t-shirt that's way more fitted, that makes me look way more buff. I mean, I really like the way that I look in this t-shirt here, where I'm working out with my personal trainer Penny. I just think this t-shirt shows off my arms, my shoulders really nicely, but all I can look at when I look at this video is I'm like spying on myself to see if I can see any like curves of my chest, which is ridiculous, because if I look at it quite objectively, I feel like you can't really see that much because I'm quite lucky to be quite small chested anyway, but I'm still looking for it. And that takes up so much mental capacity. I don't want it anymore. I don't want my brain to be used in that way. I don't want these emotions to be lingering with me all the time. I just want to be present in what I'm doing, and hopefully in that, enjoying it more. And then with hot weather, there's vests. Like I love feeling the sun on as much of my skin as possible. And I actually really enjoy wearing vests, it turns out. But when I went away last year, I was wearing these vests and I was constantly adjusting to make sure that my tape wasn't on show. And whilst I don't think anyone really clocked, it was just always always on my mind, just something that I'm always thinking about, something that I'm always adjusting, and it just becomes really exhausting. So yeah, that's why I'm getting top surgery, to alleviate all of these experiences and mental pressure and emotional space that I have to carry at the moment, and hopefully free that up to, as I said before, to become more present in what it is that I'm doing and with the people that I'm with, and to feel more confident, more joyful, more comfortable, and ultimately, I suppose, more empowered to wear what I want to wear, to move my body through this world in the way that I want to move my body, and just to open up this new chapter for me. Yeah, like I am super lucky that I get to access very soon this new chapter in my life and in my transition. I thought this was going to be a short video, but looking at the duration of how long I've been speaking for, I don't think it is. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope that it's been useful to you in some way. If it has, and you would like to support me in creating more of these videos, then I have finally kicked off my Patreon. If you'd like to support me, there's the link in the description below. Please do check it out. Please do look at the different tiers that I've got available. And I'm just so grateful, honestly, to anyone who has checked it out and who has signed up already. To give a massive shout out to my very first patron, Greg. Thank you so much for signing up and supporting me in this way. Honestly, seeing that I had one person sign up already in a day, that warmed my heart so much and made me smile. I cannot begin to tell you how valued that makes me feel, and also how possible it makes it feel for me to be able to continue making videos like this. So yeah, Greg, thank you so much for signing up to be my first patron. Oh, and also, if you have a spare bit of cash, I'm fundraising for my top surgery still, so I'll also put that GoFundMe link down below. Yeah, I'd be super grateful if you could just chuck me a few coins. Thank you so much. As always on YouTube, don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you like this video, and hit subscribe if you would like to find out when I'm releasing my next video. And of course, as always, don't forget that sometimes you have to be brave and sometimes you have to be kind. I will see you in the next installment of this top surgery journey very soon, because I'm making these at the speed of light. I'm so proud of myself. Anyway, see you in the next installment.